I could let this song play the whole thing there. Loving this, but we got to get to our next guest. That's Canadian artist John McDermott with the tune Scotland the Brave. And I'll tell you what, if that probably wasn't a Scottish accent, but I'll tell you why we're playing that right now. Because we've got a little scandal, a little controversy involving the mayor of Montreal and Montreal's Scottish heritage. Now, last weekend, Mayor Valerie Plante took to social media to honor Scottish heritage in the city, referring to and showing how Montreal has its own tartan and how it represents one of the founding peoples of the city of Montreal. It's that term, founding peoples. It set off the French language hawks and the columnists at certain newspapers, Mathieu Bocoté at Journal de Montréal, one of them. It set them off, right? You are denying history. You are revising history. You are lying. And I said, I saw this controversy, this made-up controversy. And I know a lot of times you listeners will attack the mayor of Montreal for not standing up for English diaspora communities in this city. Well, I tell you what, she did a couple of weekends ago. She got hammered for it. So we're inviting Sterling Downey onto the program, city councillor for Verdun and a proud fellow in his own right. Hi, Sterling.
Hey, I'd quote Braveheart right now, but I don't feel it's appropriate.
I get the sentiment here, Sterling. So let's get into this. What was your reaction when the mayor goes out of her way to celebrate the Scottish heritage facet of our city, and then she gets nailed for it? How'd you feel?
I feel like some people in the media are a couple of years behind in making comments, because I'm not sure why Mathieu didn't feel it necessary when Montreal celebrated its 375th anniversary and the St. Andrew's Society of Montreal gifted the city of Montreal their own tartan and registered it with the Registry of Tartans in Scotland to celebrate one of the founding peoples of the city, or that are on the flag, and made Downey a nice plaid jacket that I believe some people saw in the media him wearing. At that point, it wasn't an issue. How come? So, and then I listened to the interview that was online, and I have to say something. There's a lot of misogyny that goes on, in my opinion. So I wonder if it was Denis Coderre, if he would have been attacked, or if it's just because Valerie is a woman. So I don't know. I have my own impressions of this issue.
I think they're so super sensitive that anyone dare point out that the true history of this city and the province, by the way, includes people that aren't necessarily just Francophone Quebecers. And you have to look at the flag, right? The Irish clover and the Scottish rose and the English thistle, right, are all on the flag, right, along with an Indigenous symbol and, of course, the fleur-de-lis.
Absolutely. Listen, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Take it away.
I was just going to say that, if you're a historian, which I am not, and I do not profess to be an historian, and I'm not going to profess to be a philosopher nor a historian like some people do in the media, but let's just say I validated some things with a few actual historians regarding Scottish history, and I'm very close to the military, as you know, so fun actual historical fact. There were a few Scottish regiments in the French army called the Royal Écossaise. So the Scots did come to New France with the French, because there were actual Scottish regiments in the French army. So there's that. The Scots and the French historically are well known to have been allies through what's called the Old Alliance, the AULD Alliance, which was part of Mary Queen of Scots, who was also the Queen of France with her first husband. So, there's there's a lot of ties to the Scots and the French, and that's just two things right there. Chateau Ramsay is named after a Scottish person, but it's Chateau Ramsay. There's the province of Quebec has its own tartan, like you noticed that I posted on my social media. So the province of Quebec, and I'm an Anglophone Quebecer who's proud to speak two languages, and I proudly wear my province of Quebec tartan because I'm proud of my province and our Scottish ties.
So Sterling, I'm someone that recognizes on language. The mayor of Montreal is in an awfully terrible spot because she'll get it from both directions, right?
Yep.
And, when she spoke English to English business people, she got attacked, right? And I thought that was ridiculous. But I also think sometimes the mayor of Montreal actually needs to stand up for the Anglophone community and the use of English in public, right? Because right now it's like the whole thing in Quebec society among certain parts of it is French is the common language. You can't use English anywhere. And sometimes I'm like, no, hold on a second. Look at the flag of Montreal, right? And maybe the mayor needs to stand up there. How do you see that balance? Where do you think the mayor needs to be on this issue?
I know the mayor very well. Like I said, we've been elected together since 2013, and I can tell you that the mayor speaks perfect English. She has no shame in using it when she does, but obviously publicly, in a lot of cases, she's under attack, like you said, for anything, right, that she does, whether it's English or French. Half the time, she's going to have shots taken at her. So I think she has to be very measured in terms of what she does, and I don't think that anybody in any position of power right now should be fueling this debate because of certain individuals who have chosen to make language an issue again, when clearly we're seeing statistics and reports saying that certain things are not as bad as they seem or as bad as they're being made out. This is a lot of clickbait. This is a lot of political rhetoric to stir up things to maybe distract from other stuff. It's crazy. I mean, I'll give you one other example. I mean, I'm not trying to dodge the question, but I'll give you an example. You know, St. Patrick's Day just passed, right? You know, we all know that. It was a great festival. And the mayor posted on social media that we were greening up some of the buildings in Montreal. We do that every year. It's part of the global greening initiative. And the big ball on Man in His World was lit up in green. And she posted it in French. She tweeted in French that we're proud to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day. And some Anglophones were attacking her for posting in French about St. Patrick's Day. And I went on to her defense and I said, listen, you know, and this goes back to the thing that we're talking about with Scottish too. Don't forget, when we're talking about Irish culture and we're talking about Scottish culture, we're not talking about English.
That's right. That's very true.
Clear distinction.
Very true, right? And
it's a very important distinction. Yeah. It's Irish Gaelic and it's Scottish. They are not English. Neither are English. The English are the English, the Scots are the Scots, the Irish are the Irish, the French are the French. So, and they all have different relationships. The Irish have strong relationships with the French here because of the Catholic Church and the orphans that were adopted into French families, the Irish orphans that came over during the famine. So the thing is, and you said it earlier before, the flag represents all of that. There's a big, huge mishmash in Quebec of all of these things. And we have to start looking at having a discussion and embracing the fact that our roots and our heritage and our history is not as clear-cut as some would like to make it. It's not as pure laine as some people would like to think. It's not. And there's nothing wrong with having other heritage or culture in your thing. It's what makes us incredible as a province. It's what makes us incredible as a country. And we should celebrate that. And language is a part of that.
And Sterling, the thing that gets me is how that's used to delegitimize certain groups and the English language in this province, right? Okay, I have to leave it there, Sterling. It's always great talking to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for bringing this issue to everyone's attention.
City Councillor in Verdun, that's Sterling Downey right there.